Hi there, it's Carol with Carolbcrafts. Today we'll be making this darling My Thoughts Are With You sympathy card. It's project number 3 in my prized Peony class kit. Each month I offer a free kit, create kit, to my customers who make a qualifying purchase using my host code that can be found on my website www.carolbcrafts.com. If you don't have the class kit, don't worry. I'll do the give you the dimensions as we go along so that you can make one of these darling cards with us. Now the inks that I used for this and the coloring, I used rich Razzleberry ink for the sentiments. I used Memento Tuxedo Black ink to stamp the flower and the leaves. For the coloring, I used the light and dark rich Razzleberry Stampin Blends, the light and dark Mossy Meadow Stampin Blends, and the dark Mango Melody Stampin Blend. And to give it a little sparkle, I used my clear Wink of Stella pen. And you'll also want to have some glue dots and some glue. You want some large regular size Stampin' Dimensionals. And you'll also want your die cutting machine because we will be die cutting the flower, the leaves, and this little part here in the edge there. And of course you'll want your prized Peony bundle, which is available in my online store. You can purchase any of these items in my online store. And these have some awesome dies that we have made some peony flowers with. But today we're going to be using this image right here, this one right here, and some of the leaves, and we're going to be coloring this image today. So I'll clear this away and we'll get started. So let's take a look at what's in our kit. So like I said, I will be giving the dimensions as we go along. So right now I'm just going to pull out the things that we're going to be stamping on. Don't lose your little gems here. And these two, you only need one, I give you two. We'll be stamping on these. And then we'll do our die cutting. So we'll stamp our flower on these. Let's see, the inside sentiment is actually stamped on the card itself, which this sentiment does not come with this set. You can put any sentiment in there that you want. The inside sentiment comes from Peaceful Moments with Deepest Sympathy, and this is a really nice stamp set. It has lots of general sentiments in it. So if you're just starting out, or if you want something to keep handy for multiple occasions, this Peaceful Moments, and it also comes as a bundle with some dies. This is a great alternative to have. Let's see, are these the same size? It looks like they are. So these are 3.5 by 4 1/4. So 3.5 by 4 1/4. We have two of those. And then this little label comes from the Stitched So Sweetly dies. It is this label here. And this is a really nice set too. Stitched So Sweetly dies. It comes as a bundle with another stamp set. So if you want to get that, I'll put that on the screen as well. For my stamping today, I'll be using my Stamparatus. And also, if you have a hinged stamp positioner, you'll want to use that. And also a 4x6 piece of window sheet, and I'll put that number on the screen too for you. I use this. You can use plastic from your photopolymer stamps or any kind of clear plastic that you can find if you don't have something like this. But we're going to use this to help us to position the image on our little piece of cardstock here. So we'll start with My Thoughts Are With You, and we'll use our rich Razzleberry ink. So I'll grab that one from our stamp set. And I'm going to stamp that down here in the bottom right corner, bottom left corner, and ink that up so I can make an image to know where to put my paper. So I'm gonna get some Stampin' Seal, which is our new stamp, took the place of our snail. I'm just going to put just a tiny bit on there, and glue. I'm going to stick it on this scratch piece of paper. It's just a sticky note, and I'm going to slide that underneath so I can line that up perfectly. And I do give you two, so if you do have a little mess up, you have a way to fix it. That looks good, so I'm going to put that down and remove the plastic, ink up my stamp again with my rich raspberry ink, and it should be perfect placement. And I'm just going to lightly do that again, just lightly. That's the beauty of the Stamparatus, is you can stamp it again if you need to. So I'll remove that. Now you want to go ahead and stamp your inside sentiment with the idea that this is going to be, there's going to be a strip of cardstock there. So we might just go ahead and put that strip of cardstock in place so that we can position. So get your 8.5 by 5.5 thick whisper white and fold it in half. And I'm going to take a bone folder and crease that fold. So this is going to be the front. So this will be the inside, and this is a piece of rich razzleberry. It is 3/8 by 5.5, so 3/8 inch wide, 5.5 inches long. I'm just going to put that on with some glue. It's a little awkward doing this while we're stamping at the same time. So I'm just going to put some little dots of glue to hold this in place. And of course I'll probably get some glue on my finger, and I will want to use a baby wipe or something to clean it off with. I'm just going to put that right up there against the edge, and the glue lets you have a little time to position it before you're committed. So that way I'll know where my center is. So I'm going to clean off my stamp and clean off my plastic. And I will be using the Peaceful Moments with Deepest Sympathy. So that's going to go on the inside, and I'll get my plastic sheet back out, my window sheet, put it in the corner, and I'm going to put it down at the bottom, kind of in the center of my plastic, ink it up. And then we're going to slide this underneath and position it till it looks good to us. And then when you're happy with it, just remove the plastic and put that down and ink up your stamp again. And I will stamp that one more time lightly. Okay, so So we're done with stamping with our rich Razzleberry. Let me clean off my stamp and my plastic. So now we're going to stamp the flower image in the front and the leaves. So we'll take one of these pieces of Whisper White, the 3.5 by 4 1/4, and you're just going to put it here on your paper. Doesn't have to be anywhere particular, just wherever. So we're just going to stamp one of the flowers. And we're going to use this flower here. It's a beautiful peony flower. And this time we're going to use our Memento Tuxedo Black. I think you could actually stamp 2 flowers here if you want. In fact, probably we should, because let me put this in place so I can reposition it when I'm ready. So that way, if we have a little goof up, just be sure you don't get too close to the edge, because you do need a little bit of a ridge around it when you do your die cutting. Let me move this in a little bit. Okay. Beautiful flower image here for coloring. You could use all kinds of coloring methods if you wanted to. You don't have to just use your Stampin' Blends. And now I'm just going to flip that around, and hopefully I'm going to remember where my position was and make sure that's not going to... It's really close. Maybe I better not try to do a second one yet. But you have white. You have plenty of Whisper White. So if you have to make another one, you can. I guess you could always do one on this side, and then that's what we'll do. We'll do another one here. Let me put that where it was, and then we'll do our leaves on the other side. There we go. It's always good to have 2 images when you're coloring, just in case you don't have to go back and stamp again. So let me clean that off. Now we're going to want these little leaves, and so we'll do a couple of them. We actually want, I guess we want maybe 3. So I did 3, and I think I did 2 large and 1 small, or 1 large and 2 small. I can't remember. Looks like I did 2 large and 1 small. One is slightly larger, so let's ink those up. Now I remember where my my marking is, so I'm just going to put this in the exact same spot. Ink those up again. Now I need to ink one more large one, so let me clean off the little one. And let's see where that runs. So I think I will just move this one over a little bit. Try not to get ink on you. A little bit more. And now it's going to stamp over here. Okay, so we have our 3 leaves. We'll put this one back in place where we were. Ink it up again. And now we're ready to do our coloring. So we'll get our markers out, our Stampin' Blend markers. We're going to start with our flower image, and we're going to use our dark rich razzleberry, and we're going to use our brush tip. And I'm just going to go in the areas that are dark, and that's where the darker ink is. But be careful not to go outside the lines. So I'm just kind of doing like a little outlining. Don't get too close to the edge. I'm going to take my light rich razzleberry. I'm going to go all the way around the edges. I find it's easier to do all the edges first. Because that's where you're going to most likely make your mistakes. Okay, once you've gone all the way around, then you can start filling in. You don't want to color the center part. That's going to be Mango Melody. And you just want to kind of blend in those colors with the darker color as you're coloring. Kind of blend it in. Okay, and when you're happy with that, you're going to take your the Dark Mango Melody, and you're going to do the inside. Now your leaves will be light and dark Mossy Meadow, and you'll start out by doing a dark, and I'm going to use my bullet tip. I don't normally use that, but I'm just going to go over the veins in the leaf like so. And then I'm going to come in with my light Mossy Meadow brush and go around the edge of the leaves. All right, so those are ready to die cut with our dies. So we'll use this die on our flower. The smaller ones are the ones we use. So we'll cut 2 of the larger ones and 1 of the small one. And then we'll cut our flower. Let me get this lined up. It's a little tricky. I'll tape it down. I'm trying to tape it on the frame and not on the flower. Let me tape these down as well. So I'll go run these through the Big Shot, and I'll cut this other leaf out, and I'll be right back. So I have my flower and my leaves. So we won't need this one, thankfully. So we're done with our coloring, except for I'm going to go ahead and do my Wink of Stella on, and you don't have to do this part if you don't want, just on the colored part of the flower, just to give it a little sparkle. I think I'm just going to do the flower part. All right, now we're going to die cut this edge right here, and for that we're going to need this piece that comes with our dies. And basically, so we know this is the front. On the front, like this, you're going to put this, you're going to center this along the edge, right up to the edge, meet the edge, but leave a little bit of white so that it does cut. It doesn't cut on the edge. And you want your scallops to be even on the edges, on the ends. And when you're happy, I'm gonna tape this down so that it doesn't move when I take it to my die cut machine. This is removable tape, Scotch tape. You can also use washi tape to hold that down. So I'm going to run that through, and that's going to take just a little bit of that off. So I was able to run that through just like that, through my Big Shot. If you can't, you might want to fold it back and run it through if you have to run it through this way. Depends on the machine that you're using. Careful not to tear your paper, even though this is removable. Sometimes it does tear. But since that's going to be covered up, it won't really matter. We'll bring in all of our little goodies. So we have a piece of rich razzleberry. It's 3 7/8 by 5 3/8. 3 7/8 by 5 3/8. It's going to go here, just like that. So I'm going to use glue to put that on. It looks like it's just like a 1/16 of an inch, just a little bit there along the edges. So now we have that nice little scalloped edge. Now this is a piece of DSP. It is 3 3/4 by 5 1/4. 3 3/4 by 5 1/4. So I just measured to halfway. And let's see, I'm not sure, I think it was 2 5/8. Let me see. Yes, 2 5/8. So I cut in at 2 5/8 and I cut in 1 inch. So I measured 2 5/8, then I measured 1 inch in, and then I cut like that, and then I just folded those two pieces back. And there we have that. So I'll put that on with some glue. And when I folded it, I left about 1/4 of an inch unfolded here on the edge, just so it would kind of have a more tailored look. Now I have a piece of DSP, which is 2 5/8 square, 2 5/8 square. It's going to go behind this doily, and this is a, let me see what the name of this is, square vellum doily. I'll put the name on the screen. I'm going to put this on with some glue dots because once we put our flower on, it's not going to show. So I'm just going to put some glue dots on it, if I can find my glue dots. Just find some places that in the center and twist it off. Okay, so I have 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm going to center that on the top of that DSP, and then that's going to go here. So we'll go ahead and put, now I'm going to, you put this on with the regular dimensionals, but I don't want to put any over here where on top of this. So what I'll do is I will get my regular dimensionals. I'll put one here in the center because I know that that's where I'm going to want some support. And this is just going to kind of go like right here in the center, and that'll give me an idea where to place my dimensionals. So I've got 6 there, so that should be enough to hold it in place. And I might want to put, do I want to put some, I might put, I'll go ahead and take these off, the backings off. And then I'll put my 2 glue dots, 1, 2, right here in the corners. So I have 6 of these, 2 glue dots in the corners, and then this glue dot here, dimensional there. And now I'm going to put this in the center. Make sure that looks centered. It's a little bit high over there. There we go. So I'll press that down. Oops, don't want to grab my jewel. So I'm running out of time on my clock, so I have to hurry. Alright, so we're going to put our flower there and our 2 larger leaves are going to go here and here, just kind of where you think they look nice. And our smaller leaf is going to go down here. And then our sentiment, I'm going to twist that off so it doesn't bend, is going to go here. So I'll go ahead and put those on with some glue dots. Start with my flower here. Go ahead and put my flower on just about right there. And I'll use glue dots for my leaves. That one's kind of going to go up because we want our sentiment there. The second big one is going to kind of go out like that, but not over your, and then this smaller one is going to go down here kind of like this, and then this is going to go here. So I'll put that on with some glue dots. And right about, well, get it on there even. Right about there. My thoughts are with you. And then our little gems are the white gems from Elegant Faceted Gems, 1 large, 2 small. So we're going to put a large one up here in the corner. Like so. And then we're going to put a small one there and a small one there. All right, that is our card for today. This is project number 3 in my prized Peony class kit. Check out my website, www.carolbcrafts.com, to see what current create or class kit I'm offering with a qualifying purchase using my current host code. Thanks for watching. Bye now.